Welcome everybody to another episode of Comics and Consoles. I'm Barry White Hansen as always, and with me is my co-host, the one, the only Winston Hodges. And we've got some very special guests today. With me, I brought the one, the only greatest Mythgard content creator you've ever seen, greatest role player of all time, and the gem of the BWH community, Lonk the Sane. Welcome, Lonk.
I would have preferred Darling, but I'll go with Gem. Gem is perfectly acceptable.
And Winston, who did you bring with you today?
Oh man, I brought a super funny comic coming all the way from New York. He also streams CJ Browne.
What's up, folks?
Welcome.
I love a good salute as an intro. You guys like that?
Great. I liked it. I felt very respected.
Mm-hmm.
He did that. I was like, that's the greatest amount of respect.
Right. Like I want it to be fun, but also show you guys respect.
It was good. It was fun. I was like, oh, this is like whimsical. And then I was like, all right, I see why people join the military. I like that.
Yeah. And next time we'll figure out like a whole musical intro where I'll come up from tribal music and then I'll like rise up from the bottom of the screen.
See, I like that. I like a good wrestling intro. I like a good WrestleMania.
We'll figure it out. We'll work it out with the interns.
We'll workshop it.
Did they just end their stream with a 21 gun salute? I think they did.
Yes, dude.
Hell yeah, exactly. You get my drift.
Are guns even allowed on Twitch?
Yes, but you can't play the song 21 Guns. That's actually that's what you can get kicked off for.
Green Day will not allow it.
Yeah.
Well, guns are not allowed unless you have a lot of guns, and then they have to be allowed.
Ooh, yeah. If you have enough, they can't tell you no. That is fair. That's the law.
Yeah, it's the whole quantity rule. So, speaking of guns, Call of Duty recently just had a hack that just ends the game, and whoever set the hack wins. So people are literally dropping out of the sky in Warzone, and the game just ends, and it says this person won, end of game. And
haven't run into that yet.
And apparently, people covering hacks have said that this is the first time they've ever seen this hack in a game. What do we think about this? Because I feel like this just eliminates whatever fun you would have, even as a hacker. Like, because you're not even shooting at that point; you're just ending the game and winning.
Well, I mean, this has been such an ongoing issue with Warzone. I mean, since the beginning of the game. Do you guys play Warzone at all?
I do not.
You don't?
No.
I do.
It is just such a constant occurrence, running into aimbot people, running into DDoS attacks. So it's a joke at this point. I have people that I'm friends with that will hide in the walls, and then they just shoot people from inside of the walls, and then nobody can kill them. I mean, Activision just really does not seem like they care at all. No. So, it's like, you know how the areas of the world where they're like least concerned about COVID, there seems to be like new, stronger variants.
Yes.
I feel like the same is true with Warzone, where they care so little about I cheat that we're getting newer, stronger cheats.
Yeah.
Hackers are the COVID of Warzone, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never done Warzone or Call of Duty, but I did like Team Fortress back in the day, and it's like, what's wrong with these kids? Why can't you just use an aimbot or mess with the hitboxes or something where you actually still have to play a game but make yourself feel like a god when you're doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why just end the game? There's no fun in that. There's no sport.
But at least like if you're not wasting your time. Like if you start the game and then someone cheated, you're like, oh, someone cheated. I'm just gonna load up in another game now.
Oh yeah,
time efficient.
Have you guys ever like played a multiplayer game where somebody starts DDoS attacking, where like everything gets like really slow and choppy, and you just wait in the game and hope that the attack ends? That at least it takes so much of your time.
Yeah.
But you're right. With this one, it's like, okay, it's over.
Whatever. I'm gonna load up another one. This guy was cheating, as opposed to like playing and someone using an aimbot and you just are screaming, "This person's cheating," and they're just like, "No, dude, I'm the best who's ever played the game. Sorry, you can't handle."
Skip the foreplay. skip the foreplay completely. Just get right to the point.
Yeah, this is the jackhammering of the. This is no lube. Just I'm cheating. This is how it goes.
You gotta love the rebuttals you get from hackers and cheaters. I was playing CS:GO one time, and there was a guy that's obviously aimbotting, just headshotting everybody, and everybody called him out. Hey man, you're obviously aimbotting, and he said, no, it's just a really good gamer chair.
Yeah, that's impressive.
People, man. Do you know what's the worst is their usernames are always like, I'm not hacking, I swear. Like, God damn it, I hate you.
Never hacked a day in my life.
I was when I did Team Fortress, they caught somebody with a DDoS attack, and then he went onto like the message boards to make his appeal. Oh, what's a DDoS attack? I've never heard of it. I'm sorry, I didn't know I do anything. And then the host or whatever just took a screen. But
does not know how to cover his crimes very well.
No,
just bragging about it.
Just going from one forum to another forum, bragging about it.
Like how much money are they making? It's like, invest in your game, please. Like it's the most popular game in the world right now. You can't figure out a good anti-cheat? That seems ridiculous.
Yeah. Which on top of that, it brings us up to our next topic, which is EA had a card game for mobile that was called FIFA Ultimate Team. That was basically just like soccer cards, and you were basically creating a dream team of like a soccer team, and you had to trade these cards, get them through game and stuff. And they found out that basically EA employees had a black market ring that they were selling the hard to find cards for thousands of dollars, and people were buying it because it was cheaper than trying to earn it in game. As one person did the math and found out it was 22,000 hours to play to get the same team that people were buying these cards. And EA did absolutely nothing, even though there was several complaints made about it, until they realized it was coming from their staff. So it was like, we don't care about this until they're stealing from us. And now it's an issue.
Yeah, when they found out.
I just did the math on that. 22,000 hours divided by 24, so one day, that's 916 days of doing that.
Jesus.
Yeah, they didn't get upset until they found out someone was embezzling it from the game.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't yeah, you don't get fucking dip into the company till fuck you. EA is definitely, I think, top 3 worst game companies. They're fucking, it's brutal, man. It's just, I can't.
Bad. I will say though, they did just merge EA Play with Game Pass, and I am a big fan of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
can play Star Wars games I couldn't afford before.
You're a Game Pass guy?
I'm a big Game Pass guy. I will fight to the death to defend Game Pass. I've had such a good experience. I'm a loyal customer now.
Okay. Hell yeah. And that's what they want. They need a bunch of CJ Browns going on podcasts and being like, Game Pass. This is where it's at.
I've probably played $1,000 worth of games I would have never played if it wasn't for Game Pass. And it's good ones. It's like Red Dead 2. It's Skyrim.
Yeah, great games.
They have good titles. I don't know. I like it a lot.
And hey, if it's out of EA's hands, all for the better at that point.
Yeah,
exactly.
someone else managing that. That sounds great. That sounds like good.
But I tried to understand like the system they had in place, and from somebody who hasn't played, was it the FIFA or whatever, I have no clue what they're trying to do. But I do know that if somebody's willing to pay thousands of dollars of these, you get up the supply a little bit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if people want to play as Pele, they need a clear path to play as Pele. They shouldn't be having to grind 3 years just to get a single freaking icon.
This card thing, it sounds exactly like I don't know if you guys have heard of, everybody's freaking talking about this nonsense, NFTs. That's literally what it is. That's an NFT, these playing cards. So, people like collecting bullshit for lots of money.
Yes.
It's one of people's favorite things to do.
Yeah. Oh, that was one thing that I didn't realize until I started playing CS:GO. Like with the cases and the skins in there, there's skins in there that people pay like $1,200 for. It's just a virtual skin in a game. Changes no skills, but people pay for it.
I'm so glad that doesn't hit the reward center in my brain like other stuff does. Like, dude, there's definitely things that hit whatever in my brain, and if they put it behind a paywall, I'm like, I'm gonna be broke. so I get it, but I can't imagine. What would be a big
one for you,
dude? Honestly, like if it was just going out to eat and like they were just like, hey man, the steak is the normal price, but like getting a side with your steak is the same price as a steak, I'd be like, yeah, I've got to have potatoes.
Oh, interesting.
Like shit like that. Just like, yeah, I have to have something.
So you're a big victim to like movie theater popcorn.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I take my own candy in there. I'll do that, but it's like movie theater popcorn. My brain's like, yeah, it tastes better. I'll pay $12 for a large thing. Especially if they're like, if you also buy a large Coke, the popcorn refills are free. I'm like, oh yeah, I will. I'll dump popcorn on the floor just to get an extra bag. I'll get my money's worth. But yeah, I'm a big victim of that for sure. But like,
yeah, if movies started doing loot boxes in the concession stand, Winston's
Jesus, dude, that would be done. Goddamn nightmare.
Open it up. God damn it, I got marshmallow peanuts.
Yes. I just want Sour Patch Kids.
That would suck. That would be awful. It's like I got snow caps 6 times in a row.
Oh god.
Gun in my mouth.
Well, it's like the end of what is it? 7, where he's like, what's in the box? And every time it's like a new thing in the box.
Yeah. Every time it's never what you want to see. It's never, oh my god, a bag of entirely red Sour Patch. This is the best box. The greatest box of all.
Like, sorry, you get Necco wafers.
But it makes sense they do a card game because, in hearing about the story, I thought, well, like those, booster packs for, if it's Magic the Gathering like I did, or baseball cards, those were the original loot boxes.
Yeah.
Buying pack after pack of cards, hoping you'll get something good in it.
Yeah.
And so of course it makes sense that EA would get its fingers into it, but yeah, they're just such a horrible company.
Yeah, I'm also glad I never got into to like mobile gaming, because I do feel like a lot of my friends that do spend a lot of money on loot shit and extra shit like that, it's almost always through microtransactions through like fucking mobile games.
Do you know people that play Raid Shadow Legend?
Yeah.
You do? People
really
play that game?
Yeah,
I thought that was like a myth.
Yeah.
I didn't know those people really existed.
No, they do.
Like Clash of Clans and all that. Oh yeah, and those games, like, they're not really even games. They're predatory is what they are.
They're grooming you.
You can set it on autoplay, right?
Oh yeah.
Like it just plays like by itself. So you're not even playing. You set it so it's just playing by itself all day.
Yeah, you're just game adjacent all day long.
Well, then they have the type of games where it's literally they had a Skyrim kind of based game that Bethesda made where anytime you hit a chest, you could only open a chest every 9 hours. So you ended up just having to like wait 9 hours to find out what item you got. Or you could buy the gems to speed up the process. And that was how they got you, because people were trying to play this game like, I just need to find out what's in the chest.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the Candy Crush economy. Because that's how Candy Crush got you too. I just want to try one more time. All right, I guess I'll buy gems to buy my chances instead of waiting 3 days or whenever.
Well, yeah, because at that point you're doing the math in your head. How much is 9 hours of my time worth to me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you're at that point where you're that deep in, you're like 9 hours, $10. It's like, fuck yeah, all right, whatever.
Ever since COVID, I've done what I call the quarantine bar math, where I've like, if I went to a bar to see a show, how much would I spend? Well, there's the $5 ticket price. Then there's the $30 in beer and food or whatever that I spend. All right. Well, yeah, it's not bad that I spent $20 on this mobile game. I actually saved money.
Oh, dude. I've been doing that this entire pandemic, buying shit I don't need, with the mindset of being like, I would be at a show right now and I would have bought wings and a beer. And this is my wings and a beer now. It's a $20 game I don't need.
Yep.
Well, you could also do that. you can replace money with time. You're like, okay, I've wasted this much time doing this instead of doing something that gives me some type of life satisfaction.
Yep.
So it's tricky, man.
Yeah.
You don't want to play game. I don't do math games like that with myself.
It's
too
scary.
painful.
Oh, dude, there was a point where I was working a job where I was making like no money, and literally there was like a 2-month period where every purchase I made, I was like, this is 3.5 hours of my life. I'm eating 3.5 hours of my life at this McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there a Justin Timberlake movie like that? I'm trying to think of the name.
In time.
Yes. Where they live to a
definitely do
certain
that
age,
one.
but instead of
that
spending money, they can use like the time they have left.
That movie is so ridiculous. Like literally the whole premise is everybody quits aging at 27. Everybody's smoking hot, but like poor people just have to, you work, and like as you work, they'll just be like, all right, cool, dude, you worked 8 hours a day. Here's 12 hours of time back. Like there were people living like hour to hour in that movie.
Whoa, that's kind of a cool idea.
It's a pretty cool movie. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just so insane. Like there's just a scene where like his mom's running to him, but she's also 27, so his mom's like Olivia Wilde. it's like 68-year-old mothers smoking hot.
Well, how do they eat if they like? So they don't get money; they only get time. Like, so how do you like? How do you live in?
You pay in time. So like,
well, you pay with your. Whoa.
Oh yeah, so it's like it's insane. And then rich people just have thousands of lifetimes built in their wrist. And like, yeah, it's a pretty cool premise. It's like it's not a bad movie, but it's just so silly. Like,
I like how we're saying all this stuff, and like, meanwhile, Jeff Bezos is getting a full blood transfusion.
Yeah,
He's,
of
like,
time and money.
upside down in some hospital.
I will never die.
Yeah, if there's gonna be a guy, yeah, he is scary.
He's like, I mean, have you seen him? He's like jacked now. It's like one thing if you're
like
rich,
that.
but then you're rich and you're jacked. It's too much. He looks like Lex Luthor. It's scary.
That is scary. His fucking big ass head.
Yeah, you
He's
thought
a
that
weird
Captain
looking
America
dude.
experiment was a myth. Jeff Bezos actually completed that experiment.
Can you imagine getting your ass kicked by the richest man on earth? How humiliating that must feel.
Because nobody was worried about that when Bill Gates was the richest man on earth. I mean,
Yeah.
Stiff Breeze could probably knock him over.
Yeah.
But Bezos is like stacked.
Yeah.
I would easily win a fist fight with Bill Gates. Easy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
dude.
Steve
Oh,
Jobs. Easily
Jeff's-
now.
Yeah, Jeff has some pretty big arms, man. I'm looking at this picture. He is terrifying looking. He's always been weird looking, but now he just looks fucking like super villain scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like for sure. Oh my god.
He's playing the role.
How tall is Elon Musk? Do
Ooh.
you guys know? I'm trying to think if I can find him.
I feel like he'd be a short boy. Let's
Yeah, I
see.
always assume like 5'8". That would be my
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, 5'8", 5'7".
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad dudes at 5'7".
Yeah, I feel like he's a few inches shorter than me. Like just
He's
enough.
actually 6'2", and Jeff Bezos
Fuck
is only
you.
5'7".
Oh, Bezos is 5'7"?
Bezos
Yeah.
is 5'7".
Wait, does 6'2" account for his robotic legs that extend when
Yeah.
he feels fear?
Yeah. Yeah, depending on when Predator's around, he ranges from 6'2" to 6'6".
Like a full spider form that
Yeah.
got like heart rate monitors. When his heart rate's elevated, he
Yeah.
enters spider form.
Yeah, and like a plumage comes out of his back and he turns around. He has
Because if
giant
anybody's
eyes.
going to turn into Dr. Octopus, it's going to be Elon Musk.
Yeah, dude.
100%.
That's fair. Yeah, dude. Bezos is Kingpin and fucking Elon Musk is Doc Ock, dude. That's what it is.
Well, Jeff Bezos is more like he's more like Lex Luthor, which is a better Lex Luthor than Jesse Eisenberg. I don't know if you guys saw the Justice League, but he is not a good Lex Luthor.
Well, are we trying to keep them in the same universe, or are we kind of spreading them out across universes?
A good point. I haven't.
That was a
considered
crossover,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like if we keep Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, we have to cross him with his Zuckerberg character in
Oh yeah, dude.
the Facebook
That's
documentary.
Ooh, so true.
Fuck, man. What else you got, Barry, on the list of topics that I don't know?
Steam recently banned the game Super Seducer 3, which if you've never heard of Super Seducer, it's basically like
It's a rape game, right?
No.
It's one of the games like
It's like an
Basically,
FMV
it's a
game where
video
you
game.
play like a guy in the dating scene, and then you have like a pickup artist giving you advice, and it's like multiple choice, and then there's like acted out sequences of the choices that you make, basically, and it's kind of very tongue-in-cheek, very like almost campy in how it's done. And the guy that does it says that he tries to not put anything that's more sexual than the typical music video, basically. So it's just like girls in bikinis at most and stuff like that. But Steam banned the game due to the fact that it had sexually explicit live models. But if you look at a quick Steam search, there is about 4 million different hentai and anime girl sexual based games, XXX rated games, but Super Producer got banned, and Steam actually released a statement saying they would not change the review, they would not re-review it for release. They just said nope, it's not going to be on there, even though the first two are on it.
Was there a lot of bad press about the game, or was there something that happened?
There was no bad press about it at all.
Because that's been out for months now, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, 1 and 2 have been out, and he's been trying to get it released on Steam to release the third one, and they just won't clear it for some reason. So and he's like, I've watered it down as much as possible.
Is the excuse they're using because they do FMV, it's like actual women in it and not like CGI ladies?
Yeah, that's the reason they're giving, is that it's live, but there's nothing like, there's no sex acts or anything in it. It's just like women dressed like in lingerie and stuff like that at ports and stuff.
You know, I kind of hate to say this, but like at the end of the day, it is their platform. They can kind of have whatever they want. I mean, there's options beyond Steam for publishing. So like why they made the decision, I don't really know enough about it, to be honest with you, but it's the same when people, they bitch and moan about, they're like, oh, it's censorship, but YouTube banned my channel. It's like, well, you can still like publish your own content on your own website. Like YouTube isn't the only option. It's like the primary way that people are seen. But like, when there's an avenue, when there's no avenue available, then you get into issues, but Steam isn't the only game in town.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a great point. And also it's like, I'm having a difficult time caring about a pickup artist game getting not released. It's very if it was like another game, but all the people that are complaining about this are just like, I can't believe they took it off Steam. Well, and it's
are people framing this as like cancel culture thing? Is that
no? I mean, the guy's just kind of annoyed because like he's had the first two on there, and it's not any different than the other two, and he's kind of like, well, why is the sudden crackdown on me when you have thousands of other games on the platform, way worse than what I'm putting out?
And it looks like the way that he's trying to like position himself is what Barry said, but also like going the route of like, it was on 61,700 wish lists, and it's like all these people now can't get this game, blah blah blah. So I don't know if it's so much censorship as it is just people being like, but why the fuck can't I do this when you already have other shit on there?
Right. And also, I wonder if people got refunded for the game that they bought.
That's fair.
Yeah, that is true. But they did say that they would leave 1 and 2 up. I personally think the game's a blast to stream. I've streamed the first one before, and it was hilarious. It's definitely a fun, like, hanging out with your friends. Like, it's just goofy. It's like making fun of a bad movie, basically.
Yeah, you can interact with chat, I'm sure, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun.
So it says Valve's offered to refund the money that the guy used to list the game on Steam in 2018. Okay. But apparently what he's upset about is he has come out and said, I am ready to take a butcher knife to the game, and I'll edit it to whatever they tell me I have to edit it to. And they're basically like, we're refusing to review it. It just isn't coming out.
He probably fucked one of their wives.
Yeah, he did. He super seduced one of their wives.
It's a crazy.
I mean, this comes after they took Pepe Le Pew out of Space Jam, so it's probably something along those.
Yeah, if we're gonna talk about, we're gonna start with Pepe Le Pew first. All right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, like, I feel like that's the only idea I can have is why Steam would take it down or reject it, is just like, oh, given the modern climate, maybe it's just not the time to put it out. Is the only thing I can think. Like
maybe it's not a good time to pick up a game where the whole point is just picking up women.
Yeah. You know,
by
I don't know.
assumably being mean to them in a bar. If we're going off of any pickup artist thing I've ever seen in my life, you're gonna need to peacock it.
Yeah, a little negging, body language. You turn to the side and just peek over your shoulder so you look like you could leave at any moment.
That's because I want to leave at any moment.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, the choices are pretty tame. I mean, like, it'll be like, oh, you walk up to this girl, what do you ask her? Hey, choice A, do you come around here often? Choice B, fuck off. Choice C, nice tits. And it'll be like choices like that where it's like, obviously you know which one is the right and the wrong choice, and then it's just acted out very poorly, you know.
And they're intentionally putting like obvious bad choices, and people just want to see them do like stupid shit.
Yeah, well, that's what Carl did.
I love the paradigm. I just love the paradigm of it's like making a woman uncomfortable at a bar and ruining her night. That's not okay in a video game. But blowing a Chinese man's head off, you know, that's do what you gotta do.
Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, Game of the Year edition.
That's what that is. Yeah, it is such a strange. I also just look at it as just like, that doesn't sound any worse than anything I was doing at 14 in Vice City. Like, I just like, that should, to me, that's the barometer of like, if you're not doing things worse than Grand Theft Auto, we shouldn't even be having a discussion.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's like, it is an open world whore murdering game.
And plus the bar has been raised so high from when it was Vice City, and people were losing their minds over it too.
Yeah, dude.
Like, now you look at Vice City and you're like, people are mad over this? Like, it's the bar's been raised so high at this
That's
point.
one of the first games that my parents ever got, like, were cool with me getting, and I was like, I cannot believe you guys are okay with it. I was like, you guys have no idea.
Oh, another parameter, Modern Warfare 1, when you go to the airport and you just kill a bunch of innocent people at an airport to win the trust of a Russian terrorist group.
Dude, my cousin got that game for Christmas, and I come from a pretty religious family, and his mom threw it out. Like, Christmas morning, he pops this game in, and the family's patriotic, so they're like, oh cool, yeah, you're a soldier, like, yeah, of course you can, like, you know what I mean, like, you're fighting the good fight, pop it in first level. And like, she called my mom, was like, did you get Winston this game? Because you go in and you kill these people, you're a terrorist. And you can hear my cousin crying in the background, it's just the first level, I won't shoot in it.
Well, I didn't lie, I said I was a soldier, I didn't say who I was a soldier for.
Can't you get through that level without pulling the trigger though?
I don't know the lineage of the terrorism level in Modern Warfare.
Because I think it's like, it's made so that like other people do it and you can kind of just walk through without pulling the trigger and still get through, but literally nobody did it. Everybody's
if women and children are going down, they're going down.
Well, that game, I think probably the wildest game I ever played is like State of Emergency, like the Rockstar game for PS2, where it's literally you're just a terrorist. Like, you are, like, the whole point of the game is like, it's against a fascist government, but you're killing innocent people. You're throwing Molotov cocktails into buildings, and you're killing cops. It's literally the entire premise of the game.
That was Manhunt several years ago. That was another one where you're like a serial killer. You're just going around slaughtering innocent people.
I wonder who developed that game.
Yeah. What a great theme of them making the greatest games of my child.
Well, then they made that game Bully, where it's just like you have a slingshot and you're in a boarding school and you're just hanging out.
Well, I remember like when they announced Bully, people were like, oh, dude, it's a school shooting game. That was like the first thought. Just like, dude, you're going to be a school shooter. Like,
or maybe the biggest twist of all time is when they made the ping pong game randomly.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That game rocked, by the way.
Rocks.
Yeah, I'm actually currently streaming Bully, and it made me realize that game could have never come out today at all. Just the dialogue in it, the actions. There's so much stuff about that game. I'm like, there is no way this would fly nowadays.
Which is why we don't get a sequel, but we get a remaster.
Yeah.
What about it would you say couldn't come out today?
Just stuff that could be construed as like homophobic, stuff that could be construed as like encouraging bullying. They make fun of homeless people in it. I mean, it's just like there's so much stuff that I'm like, yeah, I could see somebody just causing a shitstorm on Twitter about this game. If it came out
now,
now,
Bully or an episode of Friends.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that was the thing. I'm playing it now. I'm like, yeah, there's no way that this would slide without somebody causing a scene about it now, just because of the content in the game.
Yeah, they also released a game called The Ballad of Gay Tony, so I don't know how Rockstar kills it, dude.
Well, you have to think about it this way. Like when you are doing like an offensive joke or like an offensive piece of content, it's all about who you're distributing it to. So if your fans are looking for that kind of thing, then you're not going to get into any trouble. But as soon as it hits the wrong ears is when you get into problems.
Yeah.
And I think gamers for the most part are way less stick up their ass about some of this stuff than other markets. So, they get away with a lot more stuff than movie producers.
I agree, because it's mostly the people getting upset about it are people that don't game.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same thing with people that get upset about a lot of jokes. It's people that don't go to comedy shows.
Yeah.
Well, Barry, I know you're a fan of Mass Effect. Remember when the first Mass Effect came out and it was like on the news and everything? Oh, you can have sex with all these alien species. You can have sex with anyone at any time. It's like,
I heard that. I played through Mass Effect for the first time a couple months ago. I didn't get to any of that stuff. First of all, Mass Effect 1 I did not like. Mass Effect 2 I did like. But Mass Effect 1 I thought was a bad game.
The AI was pretty wonky in Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, and the combat system was bad, and it was really laggy, too.
Yeah, the story was great, but there was a lot around it, which is why I'm hoping they're coming out with a remaster, I think, soon. Hopefully they fix some of the AI in that. But, yeah, like even like the sex scenes in it, like it's nothing you wouldn't see on cable television. Yet here they were ranting and raving about it on CNN and stuff. It's like, no, these people have no clue what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, and it's plus if you don't know like the context of it and stuff like that, because you hear like alien sex scene, but then you see it and it's just like two aliens in bikinis just grinding on each other, and that's like the whole scene, and you're like, yeah, that's that's nothing. I just saw pixels moving. That was it.
Yeah, I do not like those games. I did not think they were a fun time. I played the first one and I was like, this fucking sucks.
It was bad. And it's really hard to navigate because the mini map is really confusing.
Yeah.
Well, it was confusing to me. But yeah, the second one, they make it so much easier to play, so much easier to navigate. I thought that was a pretty good game.
Yeah,
the other thing about the first one was those damn vehicle sections too. Like, they need to stop doing that in video games. Oh, people want a vehicle section. No, they don't.
Yeah.
We want to go around, shoot guns, duck behind chest-high walls. No, we don't need a vehicle section.
Yeah, I just played the first one. I think the part that made it so infuriating is how much I hated it and was like, oh, this is a bad game. And then how much my immediate group of friends loved it. And I'm just like, I'm not the crazy person. Like, I know I'm not.
Confusing me because everybody's like, this is one of the best. And I'm like, I don't see how
I was being gaslit by my group of friends. It was a gaslighting situation where I was like, I know this is a bad game. They're like, no, Winston, it's a good game. You liked it. I'm like, maybe I did like it.
I didn't get it. I'm glad that we've come together on this.
I do too. I think it's good. The first one, bad game. You heard it here, folks.
But 2 and 3 were much better. Were fantastic. 2 and 3.
I'm like kind of Mass Effected out. I'm like, halfway through the third one, and I just kind of am dreading playing it. I played through that series. Before that, I did the Mirror's Edge series, and I had a similar thing with this. Have you guys played the second Mirror's Edge game?
Yeah.
It's really long and slow and boring, but I played through it, and I don't know why.
I like the first one.
First one was awesome.
It was a good ass game. But yeah, the second one, I don't know. I couldn't. And you make a great point. I guess it was because it was slow, but I just remember playing it and just. The first one I played through and I loved playing through it. And then the second one I was just like, I just didn't feel fun and I couldn't pinpoint why I wasn't having a good time.
I want to listen to podcasts and also do something with my hands type game.
Yes, exactly.
I need one of those.
Yeah.
So is there any other video game that you feel like alone in your hatred of? Like everybody else is telling you what a great game it is, but
that's a great question.
That is
for me personally, it's Skyrim. I hate it.
Oh, I see. I actually earlier, before I did Mirror's Edge, I played through Skyrim for the first time, and I really, really enjoyed it.
It's not like, stop calling it an RPG. It's not. The characters suck. The story sucks.
Oh, I ignored the story because I would listen to podcasts and I would just play the game.
Screw Skyrim. I hated Skyrim.
How did you play?
Huh?
How, like, what style did you do?
I did mostly the ranged combat conjurer type play style. I've also tried like other styles, like, you know, just the, you know, meathead, grab a big axe, chop things up.
That's fun. I did like one-handed paladin heavy armor type thing, which I thought was pretty fun. But again, I ignored the story. The story seemed stupid. Like, I just didn't get involved. Like, sometimes I don't need, like, people get all caught up in the lore. I'm like, I just need something to do with my hands. That's it. You know?
Yeah. I want to play a game. That is what I want to do.
And like,
I don't know, man. I've always thought Animal Crossing fucking sucks.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
I agree.
People I know love that game, and I just am like, I can't. Like games like that, like Animal Crossing, Sims, stuff like that, where the people I know fucking love those games, and I'm just like, I can't do it. Minecraft. Those are like the first three that pop in my head, where I'm just like, this is dog shit. I can't. Yeah, I don't want to build.
The way I've understood Animal Crossing, it's basically capitalism, but with cute little animals.
Yeah. And I like the characters. I think the characters are cool as shit. I think KK Slider's awesome, but I don't have fun playing those games. Like, I would much rather there just be an Animal Crossing children's show I can watch with my nieces. I'd be on board with that. But fucking actually putting, dude, like when the Switch thing where you can see what your friends, like how many hours they've put into games, and clicking on my friends' things. Like, I have a friend that's like he used to be in this like a metal band, and like his number one play game, you'll be going through all these things. They're all pretty dope games. You get to Animal Crossing, it says over 370 hours. It's like, dear Lord, dude.
What games did I really not vibe with? I'm gonna say, for one, the Battlefield series. I never got into the Battlefield series. I didn't like that type of combat. For shooters, I've always liked the short range, mid range type games where you have like an assault rifle SMG or like assault rifle shotgun. And I felt like Battlefield was all like long range combat, and it wasn't really for me. And I know there's some more, but I can't think of them. That's maybe Tetris. I don't like Tetris. Any form of Tetris I don't like.
Yeah, I'm not a big Tetris guy. I also never liked any of the racing simulator games. Like, I'm not a Forza or Gran Turismo.
I don't like those either. Or any sports game. I don't like any sport game.
Okay, yeah, that's a big one. I think that
I used to like sports game. Like Madden used to be fun, but when it's continually just the same crap year after year, it gets worse, not better, and you're still paying full price because it's a new game instead of just an update. Then kind of turning on sports games.
I wish they would bring back the extreme sport, like EA Sports Extreme, like Red Card Soccer, or like NFL Blitz, or
they had like Slugfest, MLB Slugfest, NHL Hits. Those were fun.
Yeah, I mean, those are fun, but I mean, I don't know. The sports games are like whatever. That's like fan fiction for sports people.
Yeah, see, to me, I love sports and I love those games. So it's like, it was very much like, I probably think I have spent more hours playing like NCAA football 2004 than any other game in my life, because I would just all summer play it for hours while watching TV and doing something else, because that is like, you don't have to listen to anything in that. I'm just undefeated season after undefeated season, leading my college to glory. Just like, yes, I am the greatest.
How do you feel about EA bringing it back?
I'm excited. I do. I haven't looked too much into the revenue sharing for the players. I absolutely think that the people, if your likeness is getting used, should be making some money. But I'm very excited for it to be back, as long as they don't fuck it up, because those games were great.
Yeah, I always like the college football more than the Madden even.
Yeah, I agree, man. And it's just like, but I also just like college football more than I like the NFL. But that's just me personally. But
if anything, I feel like there's sort of been an allure to NHL games, because I feel like those have the highest skill gap.
Yeah.
But I've never fucking been able to hit a goal. I just can't figure out how to do it. You know, I'm very good at some games, but that one there's something about it.
They're fun though, man. Like the NHL games are like some of the few It's like NHL and FIFA, I think, are the two sports games that I do feel like I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off when I get a new copy. I do feel ripped off when I buy a new Madden. I feel like I'm getting
the right thumbstick. You got to work that shit like a clitoris. It's like
dude, you're just rocking it out. You're like
gentle with that thing.
Mine isn't necessarily a game as much as it is a type of playing a game.
A lifestyle.
I do not understand speed running. Like, I don't understand.
I love that. I watch speed running to fall asleep. I love speed running.
But I just don't understand the guys that, like, that's their thrill of, like, playing the same side scroller on NES for 8 hours over and over again. I watched this
one guy shift, and he just does SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom speed
awesome.
Run. It was a platformer from, like, 2004, and he'll buy different consoles to see if it improves the frame rate. Like, he's like, well, on Xbox, the frame rate has a 0.5% increase, and that over time, that gives me X amount of edge. And
awesome.
I love it. So repetitive and fun.
See, I do think it's impressive. Because it's one of those things that I see that and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's not a thing that I'm built to do. I don't have the patience to do that.
No. So much patience.
I saw somebody speed run Fallout New Vegas in like less than an hour. Like
less than 10 minutes.
Was it less than 10?
They can beat it in less than 10 minutes.
See, shit like that I think is cool when it is a game that is so, like, the type of game that I think about, I'm just like, oh, I would never finish this. Like, you are speedrunning a game that, like, I can't do it. Like, it's just not.
Even the glitches they do, you would never think to do the glitches. They're so crazy, and the amount of work to just find the glitches, nevertheless implement it in some type of competitive environment, it's bananas.
Have you seen, I don't know if it's an IGN series, I think it's an IGN series where the developers watch speedruns.
Yeah, those are
great.
Cool.
Those are really fucking awesome, man. Those are like the only speedruns, because it is fun to, like, I can't remember the game, but it's one where you're just like a gorilla escaping from this fucking
Ape Escape.
Yeah, Ape Escape. It's fucking very funny, man. This guy's like this gorilla escaping from this thing, and while he's doing it, he's with the developer, and the developer's like, well, this is disappointing to watch because he's running sideways now, which means that I fucked up and I made it faster to run sideways than to run forward. Just small shit like that I think is dope. But
there is something very like punk rock about it too. Like, this is the way the game's supposed to be played. You know, Fallout, you're supposed to have hundreds of hours of content, and somebody just does it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, screw all that. Screw what you want me to do. I'm going to do it my way.
Also, the best gaming cringe moments are from games done fast. Games done quick or whatever.
Oh my God. There's
unbelievable
moments. But there's also a level, like you're saying, there's like a level of embarrassment as they're watching these speedruns because they literally didn't do their job properly.
Yep. Or they feel like they're like, fuck, we made something. Because I guess when you go in, you're like, we're going to make something that can't be manipulated or whatever. And then you do it and you're just like, man, we fucked up big time. Well, yeah, I don't know. Is there any games that you guys think, like, gun to your head, you have to do a speed run that you would at least give a shot to? Like right now, because I've never practiced a bunch, but it's like if there was one game where they're like, you have to do it by this time, that you would just be like, all right, if my life depends on it, what would it be for you guys?
I love this. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's called A Way Out. It's like a prison escape story game on it's made by EA, but it'd be fun because you're playing with like a friend. So I feel like it'd be cool to do a 2-person speed run.
That's pretty cool. I like that. What about you, Lonk?
Right now I'm doing Stranded Deep, which is a survival game, and I feel like survival games are kind of ripe for that kind of speed run.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a lot of randomness in those types of games.
Like The Forest 2 would probably be another interesting one. Just how fast you can get through it too.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I think I would have to just be the first Halo. That's the only game I'm confident enough that I will never forget how to play and can get done as quickly as possible. What about you, Barry? What fucking game would you speed run?
I think I could do New Vegas just because I played through it so many times that I would kind of know at least ways to cut my time down a little bit, and then you know, if you're not on a time limit and you're just having to speed run it over and over again, I think I could do that.
But you also have to consider not just things like that, you have to consider who's already speedrunning the game, how much is known about the game, and how much the game is mastered. Because there are some games that have been, like, for example, Mario 64 has been whittled down to such a degree that it's within like milliseconds for the world record. So it would just be such a fruitless effort to try to do that game.
Yeah.
Because like the point is you want to get the world record, right? Like that's like the whole thing with the speed runs. And if it's impossible to do that, why even waste your time?
Well, I think I could pull pretty much any game that me and Winston did on the original YouTube show that we did for this. Like,
oh yeah, dude,
any of those games, I guarantee nobody has speedrunned ever.
I could speedrun that fucking Barney game we played, bitch. I fucking
Barney hide and seek.
I can crank out Barney hide and seek, dude. You don't even need to find all the kids, dude. You just need to find half the kids, and you can go to the next level.
Yeah, you could play a game that's only been played by 30 people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Just by default, you have the world record speed run.
Yeah, it's 7 days. 7 days is the speed run in my game.
I think that game was the only one that we beat on episode. Like,
we beat it in 20. We beat it in 20 minutes. It's also the only game where we called the helpline. That was in the booklet from 1994.
Somebody pick up?
Dude, it was the fucking, that phone number now belongs to a lawyer in like Minneapolis.
You got an interesting message, to say the least.
And I just left a voicemail like, hey man, we're having trouble finding the 6th kid on Barney's.
They had a helpline? How long ago was this?
Dude, it's
1994.
Early 90 something, dude. It's a Genesis game.
Oh wow!
Once a month, he gets phone calls about the Barney game.
Yeah, once a month.
He just got so annoyed he actually figured out what the answer is and then just hangs up on everybody.
Dude, yeah, his new outgoing away message is literally him saying, "Hey, you've reached the law offices of," and then the end of it is just like, "And if you're in the 5th kid is actually located behind the bush." Oh man. What else you got, Bear? We got a few minutes left. What do we got?
Got a good wrap up moment. My favorite topic as always, for Lonk and Chris, what was your worst game rage quit moment in gaming ever?
Oh, this is a pretty recent one. I got all the way to the end of Fallout New Vegas. And I put just barely not enough points in the speech. My guy was just barely, like, so no matter what I did, I was probably doing this for 6.5 hours. I was trying to beat the guy and my armor wasn't good enough and he was one-shotting me. So I just figured I'd gotten this far. I beat the game mentally. So
yeah, you beat it. The game's over. You beat that
game. My worst rage quit. I think it would have been mine. I think it would be New Vegas also, just because I was one of those idiots who forgot to save when it was still buggy as all hell and lost like 2 hours worth of progress. It was just like, no, fuck this.
I forgot that. When I was playing Skyrim, I forgot that you have to keep fucking saving. Otherwise, you're gonna throw your controller at the wall.
Yeah, remember that, kids. If you're playing a Bethesda game, make sure you save.
But I do that with every game now because I played so much Bethesda that I just save every 5 minutes now in every game.
Well, the games now are so much better about auto saving that I forgot that I need to do that.
Yeah, you forgot that there are games that don't give a shit about your progress. Yeah, most of my rage quit moments have been from me forgetting to save something and losing an incredible amount of progress and just being like, yeah, this is it. Like, this is like...
Well, what about those moments right before you hit the checkpoint? Like you've made a bunch of progress and you're like one jump away from hitting the checkpoint to where you've saved at that point, and then you die. That's the most rage quit moment for me, is like,
yeah, for sure,
when you're so close to that save point and then it's like, well, now I got to go back 45 minutes and redo this.
Yep.
Or it freezes while it's saving the game, like you can see it's saving every like, did it save? Did it not save? What do I do?
Yeah, I'm getting vicariously upset from you just saying that. that triggered some shit to me. Dude, I remember one time I was playing this like strategy RPG for the PS1 when I was like a kid called Vandal Hearts. I was like really into it. It's one of my favorite games. So like I played it for like 5 hours at my grandma's house because that's where my PS1 was. And I got to a point and my parents and I were going to go out to dinner. They were coming to pick me up from my grandma's, and I had no save space left on a memory card.
No.
So I looked at my grandma and I was like, we're going to buy a memory card. For the love of God, do not turn this console off while we were going. Just being like, just don't go in this room. Because I love my grandma to death, but she absolutely would have come in and unplugged something. And that was the most scared I was for 4 hours of just doing dinner with my parents and then going to Best Buy and getting a memory card and coming back and saving this fucking shitty strategy RPG I was obsessed with.
Accidentally ruined a friendship over accidentally turning off the GameCube during somebody's progress in Tony Hawk's Underground. It was never the same again. We've never been, we've never seen eye to eye after that because their hatred towards me was so.
Oh, dude. I think I mentioned it once on here, but I can't remember if it was before we started doing it on Zoom. My brother really liked Jet Grind Radio for the Dreamcast, and I thought it was a cool game. So when he was at like school one day and I was home, I was like, oh, cool, I'll play. And I accidentally like saved over his file. And so the entire day became a race to get back to where he was in the game. dude. And he's like 7 years older than me. And I was like, he is going to whoop my ass. And dude, I barely made it. And it was like, maybe that was my greatest speed run was the threat of my brother murdering me for.
Threats of violence work.
They really do. As a child, they absolutely do. Oh man. Well, this was a good one, Barry.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
It was a good time.
Oh my God. Lonk, where can people find your stuff online, man?
You can find me on YouTube. Lonk the Sane on YouTube. I mostly do Mythgard. Those of you who don't know, it's CCG. It's a card game, kind of like Magic the Gathering meets Hearthstone.
Cool.
Futuristic cyberpunk meets mythology of old. It's a really cool setting. It's a fun game. You can find me at it's at Lonk Sane, no the for Twitter, or Lonk the Sane on YouTube. Yeah, I got to get better on my my handles. It's kind of out of control.
Look, CJ, what about you, man? Where can people find your stuff?
2 places. I would say definitely follow me on Twitter. That's twitter.com/CJ Sorry. Always shit posting, being mean, really not a good guy over there. But you could also follow me on Twitch. That would be appreciated. So that's twitch.tv/sorry CJ Browne, E at the end of Brown. And playing a lot of Call of Duty, all sorts of different stuff. We said whatever's in season, I'll put in.
Hell yeah. You can follow me at Winston H Comedy on everything, and then winstonhodges.com. Barry, you want to close us out?
Oh, hold on. I should also mention before we go, the award-winning Winston Hodges.
Oh, I did win an award.
Yeah,
nice.
congrats.
For what? What'd you win an award
for? He's famous.
Yeah, I had a stand-up special that I entered in a film festival, and I got Best of Show.
Like a dog.
Yeah, I did. It was the best. It was the dog of comedy specials, brother. Yeah, dude, they checked the balls and everything. It was like, this is a pure breed.
It's a Labradoodle.
All right, Barry, close us out, my friend.
All right, well, as always, you can find this episode tomorrow on Spotify and YouTube, and we're here every Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern. So we will see you next week for another episode of Comics and Consoles. Have a good one, y'all.